Cody tackles his very first solar install on this one. So if you're interested in a detailed account of that, we'll have a quick 12-minute overview at the end of this video. In the meantime, we traverse the state of New Mexico and try out camping on BLM land for the first time. Oh, check out that view! Of course, we do it in the dark, but we still nailed it.
This is a lot less nerve-wracking than it would have been in the reflection.
You did that.
You did all of it.
But we find that it was all worth it.
He looks ashamed.
Oh, he has no shame. I ain't no chicken. Plans continue to change, and we seem to hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock on this one. Now what?
On the road of life, there are sometimes detours. So Casa del Rio Road is also closed.
In a quarter mile.
How'd you get your wheels so dirty?
No comment.
I have to learn to plan better on these trips. We're in the middle of a parade, and I think we're going to pivot and head on down the road a little ways.
I think we're going to find somewhere to stop.
Thanks to the sponsor of this video, LECTRIC.
Here we got the max air fan running, all these lights on. We're charging batteries and stuff in the background, and we're pulling in enough solar where it's just kind of taking care of everything. The battery has went into standby mode, so it looks to me like the solar panels are just kind of direct feeding the system. And that's pretty cool because we're dry camping for the next couple of days, and not having to worry about this is so nice.
So we started our journey today at a laundromat in Tucumcari, New Mexico. And as we're headed west, we had to do at least one Route 66 thing, and that is to go through the historic Route 66 underpass. Now, we just got our truck out of a body shop. It says it's 1310. We're only about 12 foot. Width-wise, we should be okay, but there's red clay mud at the end of it. So I'm sure glad we put those new tires on. We did it. And hey, our bathroom's right behind us, so I think I'll make a pit stop before we hit the road again.
Now what?
Garmin and Google both gave me this route. This is one of those things like we always talk about when we're in the fifth wheel. We're so careful and cautious, and we stick to interstates, and the truck camper, it's one of the nice things about it, albeit small, and it definitely has its own challenges. It gives you the ability. If we were in the fifth wheel, I don't know what we would do.
We would back up. Well, that was exciting.
On the road of life, there are sometimes detours. The appropriately named Ange Venture. I'm gonna try to not worry about getting the truck dirty as much as normal. I'm gonna try to tone that down just a little bit. I was advised.
It's the big one.
I was advised not to buff or wax the truck for 2 weeks after it comes out of the paint booth. It is 1 week today, so I can't even really wash it or do anything with it for another week. And I feel like we're just gonna run into more and more and more of this stuff, so it's probably an exercise in futility, but there are things stuffed between the bed of the truck and the front of the truck camper. I've got Starlink, solar panels, toolboxes strapped in with seat belts in the back seats. The dogs have about 3 feet to work with. Blue Tech's taking up one floorboard. We're full. So the inside's gonna have to be done just like the outside. Hey, you get to go back through your tunnel again.
Let's do it.
As long as nobody else is trying to do it at the same time.
Woohoo! Don't you do it. I saw it. Ah.
Interstate 40, back where we started. Let's go make some tracks. So we're here at Love's 382 for fuel. We're gonna get it with open roads for 303. So that's not bad at all. And we get to pump really, really fast, which is always a big plus for me.
Whoops! I forgot to turn off our water pump when we stopped. And what can happen is if something rattles loose, a little handle, it has happened to people before. Thankfully we haven't. It can flood. So I'm gonna go take care of that now. Off and onward. We're doing something we've never done before, and that's BLM land. I know that's not a new concept, but for us, it is new. There are anxieties. The location we're going to has a lot of options. We used AI to help us find the best one where we didn't go down some really crazy roads with low clearance. And so I'm hoping I have a really good one picked out.
And as much as we planned this out, and Angela's done a really good job doing a lot of research, it was 85 or 88 when we left Amarillo. It's 57 degrees
and
right
dropping.
now and dropping as we roll towards Santa Fe, New Mexico. Angela did laundry today. I could barely get all my clothes stuffed into my little cubby closet thing. But there's cold weather stuff in there, and I think we're going to be glad we brought it.
I think we're going to regret wearing shorts and flip-flops. We definitely lost some time with the flooded out road and a couple stops. It's getting dark quick, and we don't know where we're going. We're a little anxious about it being our first time. I'm hoping that it's real easy and we can get in there and still have some daylight left to see what we're doing.
Our general rule is to not arrive at camp after dark. We really practice that even at campgrounds with pull-through sites. You just never know what you're going to get into, or if you have a flat or a breakdown, it's just more complicated to deal with at night. I think we've only broken that rule once or twice this year, and we're going to break it again tonight.
At the end of the
52
street,
minutes to drive.
turn right.
It's bad news.
Yeah. You might know now that we're here and we're lost that we have no cell service. 7 minutes away if we could have used that access road.
This
What's it
says
say?
5 minutes. Let's at least try it.
So Casa del Rio Road is also closed.
In a quarter mile, right left.
This is a lot less nerve-wracking than it would have been in the reflection. That's for sure. I see rigs. There's rigs all in here.
Yes.
All to your right.
Supposedly there's thousands of acres out here to choose from. We just can't see. Like, it's hard to tell if this is even a road.
We got them new tires now, baby. That's what I spent all that money for.
Because you knew we'd be doing this.
Yep. That looks okay over there, right there in that sagebrush to back up like right here.
You did that.
You did all of it.
Let's do some business.
One of the upgrades we did with the truck camper was changing out that old, ugly porch light that was on the side. Look at this thing. It lights up all this space out here. Perfect for boondocking. Best thing about that light is it's only drawn about 18 watts. All LED, big light, low power, just what we need. It knocked some of our trim loose on the wall. Everything's put up.
I think we're gonna do a little hiking, but tennis shoes will be fine for it. It's real light.
Yeah, don't do anything in sandals. The stickers are out of control.
I'm wearing regular clothes because it's gonna be cold. Yeah, your sticker shoes are causing a problem over here. Welcome to New Mexico. I'm gonna take these outside and see if I can scrape some of them off. Oh, check out that view. We didn't get to see that last night.
No.
I would totally stay here again for a while if it wasn't for the fact that we kind of want to get down the road with us being working from behind. We really want to catch up a little bit and make some miles today. That doesn't mean that we're not going to stop along the route, because we still need to experience New Mexico.
It's a lot of stickies.
This is after sweeping late last night. You have to check the dog's paws a lot, because they're not used to this.
Every time you move, you have to secure everything, because everything moves.
So you start with this, wedge it in. You have to lift this up.
Lift up the top shelf, okay. 2-person job. I made a mistake when we were doing our reno and didn't buy enough door latches to secure all of these, so we're using our little cord ties we picked up at the RV show, because they are perfect to keep things from coming open while we drive. Babe, can I hand you the waters?
Chasing flies. And then that plant, if you'll just set it in the sink just in case. I think it'd ride, but their food's been riding. The bathroom looks pretty good. Did have to remind Cody to close the toilet lid.
Hey, tell my secrets.
Because things fall in it.
We lost a bottle of Aleve and a new razor that way.
Yes, we did. And guess who reached in with gloves? It was fun.
We are at 72% charge on our battery. We were about 82 this morning, and the furnace ran most of the night, but I got up and immediately started charging cameras and computers, and the furnace was still running, and ran the water pump and so on. So we're at 72. It's only 9:50 here. We're already taking on charge. So I'm confident as we drive throughout the day today with all the sunlight and a little charge coming from the truck, we should be back to full by the time we get to our next destination.
She's being dramatic. I think she has a sticker. Let me see. Yep, we got a few stickers. We got, oh, yep, that one hurt. I know. I'm sorry. Let me see.
Poor babies.
Well, she came and told me. She came and jumped up on my leg.
Chuckles, you better watch out for those stickers.
This is definitely a negative to desert areas. There's an RV way down there. There was a group up here with a campfire. That's all we can see. We keep finding these places that would be perfect for our bikes. There's, coming here specifically, I know there's some bike lanes after we get down this road, and it'd be less than an hour to get down to the main downtown area.
We left quite a few things behind that give us creature comforts, like our big generator and our 2 air conditioners and our 12-volt fridge, but I think the thing that I regret leaving behind the most was the electric bikes. Now, there are ways to carry bikes with the truck camper, but you can see based on where our hitch would come out, our bike rack would directly interfere with the door as it is right now. I know there's options to do hitch extensions and different hitches where you can even pull a boat behind you. And they've got swing out brackets and all kinds of neat stuff that we can do. I really want to do that next time. If you guys saw our renovation videos, we got really behind and we just had to go. So finding a way to bring our bikes along with us is a must for our next truck camper trip. But for now, we're just missing it. I look out right through here and our X Peaks would be perfect. So I'm gonna quit whining about missing my electric bike and we're gonna go check out downtown Santa Fe.
Since it's so close to the road, I think we could bring our reflection right here, but I wouldn't want to take it any further. I had this really big long list for us to do today. And as I'm running the miles, I had to be realistic and decided to cut it down to like 2 things. I way overestimated what I could do. But we do want to at least peek at the town a little bit before we hit the road. And I'm hoping that we found some parking, because this is the capital.
We do have our dimensions and height and everything dialed into the Garmin, and we're using that for navigation with kind of Google on the side just for live traffic data. So we're hoping not to run into any low clearance issues. Garmin seems to like the route just fine. Angela was talking about planning a little bit the other day, and something I reminded her of is a lot of times she'll look at Google and things like that for routes, and Google's going to give you a completely different estimated time to drive somewhere than you're probably going to drive. For instance, most of these roads coming out here were 75-mile-an-hour zones. I don't pull my 5th wheel at 75, and with some gusty winds in the area, I for sure wasn't going to drive this thing 75. So we ended up averaging 60 to 65. Just something to think about in the world of commercial transportation. We usually plan dispatch at 50 or 55 miles an hour because it takes big trucks longer to get places, and they're really affected by high winds when they're running with empty trailers behind them. What we do is just the number of miles you plan to drive divided by 50 or 55. We're going to kind of apply that rule and try to not roll in somewhere after dark today. Looks like we've found ourselves in the middle of some sort of protest or demonstration.
And the Capitol swarmed.
Yep, we were going to park at the Capitol because that's okay to park at. There's a lot of not nice signs that lead me to believe we don't want to be here. I did have to drive over a curve to make that happen.
Look at that setup.
That's pretty cool. Santa Fe, nice to see you.
We just realized that our stomachs are on Central Time.
My stomach stays on, my whole system stays on Central Time.
Yes, we know.
In the maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes since we left camp this morning, we've already bumped up 5% on our batteries. At current conditions, we're going to be fully charged in less than 5 hours. I'm pretty happy with our little solar kit so far. You didn't put something up. Walk around sandals that were full of stickers this morning, but I figured out if you just take them and rub them together, the stickers just kind of fall out. It looks good, and just toss them right back in the house.
Look at Cody giving pro tips. That fell out of the cabinet. I guess we need to tie those cabinets
Maybe
back.
we didn't have it, well, we got it pretty crammed in there too.
It's full. I realized I didn't cook any meat this morning, so we'd have something. I mean, I've got like salad and yogurt and stuff that Cody won't eat.
That's right. But I saw they have Hunt Brothers Pizza at the gas station. If I can't find anything better, twist my arm, I'll have to eat pizza for lunch.
I have to learn to plan better on these trips.
If we don't have the fifth wheel, we can drive down basically any road we want. It's a no stress trip. Let's make it easy. Gas station. Whatever that is.
You guys want to go outside before we go? Yeah? Tried pozole for the first time, and the spice almost kicked my butt. I ain't no chicken. It was delicious. I just sweated through it, and I only spilled a little bit. How'd you get your wheel so dirty?
No comment.
Throw our trash away while we're here. Charlie! Oh, man. Admittedly, we're pretty off schedule with the dogs. They're used to being able to stay in bed when we go to the gym and not be bothered. And during this time in Arkansas, they could run free. And so we're kind of getting back into a routine. And although we do walk them on occasion and make them move, they get a lot of movement in the reflection. We've noticed in the truck camper, they are a lot more sedentary. So we have to be better about getting them out, making them move, which is what we're going to do here pretty shortly. I'm hoping Eris behaves.
Good luck with that.
I picked this hike because it's supposed to be really easy. Let the dogs get a little exercise. Charlie can only do so much.
And we've been in the truck for about 5 hours off and on. And it's kind of windy today, so it's slow going. I'm kind of ready to get out of the truck and walk around too.
We're already dreading this. I know she's gonna be naughty. I just know it. Here.
This is nice. They got like a nice little picnic area over to the right. This is Charlie's kind of walk. Flat, paved surfaces. He really thrives on concrete.
He does. Good girl. Leave it. Nobody's hurting you.
And it's not so much that she's mean and she's never bit anyone. I think she's just scared of everything. She sees a stranger and it's like hair on her back stands up. Whoa, 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 whoa. So we give her a little toy as a pacifier and it works.
When she uses it. Let's go.
Uphill challenges. Come on.
Come on, Charlie. You got it. Good job. Good job.
He's getting older. He's slowed down a lot, so I just kind of let him walk at his own pace. When he wants to stop and sniff, we stop and sniff.
He needed the break.
Watch out for that cactus there, girl. He did not need a break.
He did.
You spoil him, that's why his endurance is gone.
He's an old man. He's retired.
Ridiculous.
He has a hard laugh.
He looks ashamed.
Oh, he has no shame. Where's your toy?
Fine. Get your pacifier.
Let's go. Good job, Charlie. You're being a real good girl, Bear Bear. Eris, good girl. Over the last couple of years, every positive interaction we have with people with her gets better. It's never going to be good, I don't think. She always embarrasses us. She has quite the personality, but we have seen improvement. Eris just let somebody pet her and didn't bark at him.
Good job, buddy.
We're getting there.
You got it.
You did so good. Next stop is our stop for the night, which will both be our overnight stay and our adventure for the morning. And then we can have dinner and settle in for the day.
I'm going to be a little bit of a nerd here, but we left this morning at 72%, and with good sunshine and a little bit of driving, we're at 93%.
Nice.
So we are great for the night. Another boondocking spot awaits. Another free night of camping, which I could really get used to.
There's no question that we're having a blast with these bikes. Right now is the time to buy if you've been thinking about it. And trust us, before we reached out to Electric, we did a lot of comparison. They have a really good price for a good quality bike. That's our opinion, but we've abused ours.
And our kids are still abusing our old ones. I think they've put 100 miles on them since we handed them off.
They are using them like crazy. And we left one back with our friend who is always so gracious to let us stay on the farm. And he fell in love with it. I'm not confident he's going to let us have it back.
I had 60 something miles on it when we left. He's already at 90 and we've been gone for 5 days. And he's a bigger guy, you know, it's 6'4", kind of a bigger frame guy, and he's really comfortable on it. And I know in the past when he used to ride, he would get like specialized bikes that were custom fit to him because of his longer arms and his taller build. But I think he's probably going to end up getting his own. He's been asking a lot of questions, but he's really impressed. We're really impressed, and the kids are really impressed. We're kind of an electric bike family. Even your aunt bought the trike and really likes it, using it around her neighborhood.
Yep. It's a brand we can easily stand behind, so definitely check it out. They have some tools online to help you determine which one is the best thing for you. The only negative is that we are going to climb 200 feet in elevation.
Quickly.
But we're going to see a volcano. We're going to see ice caves. These are minor vents from molten lava that pop out.
And the volcano here, he said, exploded about 10,000 years ago.
For $14 a person, about an hour or so of your time, this is a perfect stop along this route.
They do have a Harvest Host sign on the door, and totally cool to stay here. One of the reasons we're choosing not to is because they do close the gates up front, usually around 5 or 6 o'clock when they close, and we don't want to not be able to leave in the morning if we want to get up and leave super early, which is kind of my plan right now. So that's the only reason we're not staying here. Otherwise, it looks fine, clean, quiet, safe.
And they were super nice about working with us on whatever we needed to do. Going up. As lava ages, a lot of the minerals that are in it start to leach out, and so that's where you see a lot of the different colors. Like white is calcium, red is iron, the yellows that you see are sulfur and sodium, and then there's a lot of other minerals too, but that's why you see so many different vibrant colors. Pretty cool. Going down.
He said it's 31 degrees year round down here too.
Starting to cool off, which I needed. we viewed the volcano, took the long route down, viewed the ice caves, and we did it all in 43 minutes.
Not bad.
All right, this McGaffey campground is BLM. It's an hour, 20 minutes away. Bad news is it'll be dark again. And if that doesn't work, we can keep running up until we hit Highway 40, Interstate 40, and then there's Walmart and gas stations and
Rest
options.
areas, and yeah.
Well, for, I don't know what number now, time, we pivoted. We had some BLM land, and it looked beautiful down this canyon road. However, it's been a really long day. We've been on the road all day long, and we got on this road, this washboard road that was supposed to be 55 miles an hour. Really, you could only drive about 15 of it.
If that.
So we knew that the hour ETA it was giving us was not accurate. And it would have been dark, especially in the canyon area, and we decided we don't need this. We're going to head back to the interstate. We're going to stay at a parking lot tonight so that we can book it and make some tracks tomorrow.
And, you know, the thing about the BLM stuff is you drive that hour and a half down that washboard road at 15 miles an hour and you get there and it's full. Or there's a gate that's locked. Pull in, we're going to cook a bite to eat, and we're going to crash, and we're leaving early in the morning. So whether it's a parking lot or a desert, doesn't really matter. We just need somewhere to crash.
We learned that our furnace is working great. In fact, it will burn us out after a few minutes.
Our appliance side of the rig is doing very well.
Shh, don't say
I got to report the news, don't I? So before we took off on this truck camper trip, in our 15-year-old truck camper, we had to manage the basics, and that's power, water, and sewer. Now on water, only so much we can do. We've got a 27-gallon fresh tank. That is what it is. Sewer tanks, we've got an 8-gallon black tank, and I believe a 7-gallon fresh tank. Not much I can do with that. But since we want to do a lot of off-grid stuff, power was the big thing, and that's why I installed a Renogy solar kit. Now, I've had a lot of people reach out to me over the years and give me solar recommendations, and honestly, I think it's cool, but we've never really truly needed it. We got the big fifth wheel. It's really easy to take a generator along with us, and putting a generator in the truck's a lot easier than wiring up solar and doing all that stuff. This is a totally different deal, and I really didn't even have a good place to bring a generator along. So I got online and grabbed the Renogy 200-watt solar kit that came with the panels, the controller, and all the wiring and things that I needed. The only thing I had to pick up were a couple of fuses that didn't come with the kit. Cost me an extra 30 bucks or so. But for about $300, we put 200 watts of solar on the roof. And when we combine that with our battery, we can pretty much go and charge and do and run fans and run lights, and the next day, if we get good sunshine, we're usually back to 100% by the time we shut down for the night. So this is working out really great to get started.
I don't know anything about this stuff. All I know is I came home and there were things coming out of the ceiling and the cabinets and wires everywhere. But so far for the week, it's been really, really nice to have it. I have to admit, for the cost of how you did it and what we're getting out of it, well done.
The aptly named and venture.
You want to say that again?
When we get this truck camper off, you have to help me with a full cleanup, wax, detail, interior detail.
It's such a drastic drop.
Oh, sorry.
Turn left at the traffic light.
What time zone are we in?
I don't know.
At the light.
Next stop.
Please drive to highlighted route.
And speaking of charging batteries, I'm going to be a nerd here.
Be a nerd.
Put some solar panels on the trailer. Not a trailer, it's a truck camper. So I just went up and dropped a solar lag. So I just went and dropped one of those brackets. I don't mind doing the work. I really mind doing the work twice. Is that lazy or is it smart? Angela's gonna kill me for all the sun. But I already see a problem. I mounted this bracket backwards. I've never done a solar install before. This is gonna be my absolute first, and you guys know I'm not great with electrical, but this is supposed to be a really easy kit. So I'm gonna dig in and see just how easy it is. I have some cabinets back here that would be perfect to go through. The issue is this wall is my outside wall. So really my only option is to come down that cabinet and out the wall here. But what I think I'm going to do is come through the roof up here in the corner of this cabinet and come straight down and try to find a creative way that looks pretty to hide all my wires over here in this corner. My plan is to run all those wires right down behind where we mounted the power converter. So now that we have the inside figured out, the fun part is figuring out where to go on the outside. I also know there's only so much wiring on the bottom of these panels, and they need to be in reasonably close proximity to each other so that I can connect the splitters. So my initial thought is we'll just take and we'll set one somewhere around here. And I'm probably going to want to take this other one and lay it right here. That way we have plenty of room for our solar panels to meet up with the splitter connection, come together, and down into the roof. The next thing to do is drill a hole in the roof, which I dread greatly. But first we have to make sure of a few things. One, we can get our positive and our negative cables together for our splitter. And then we know we'll mount our gland up here wherever it makes sense to do so. I guess there's nothing to it but to do it. Let's go drill a hole in the roof. I'm not a big electrical guru, but this seems like a pretty comprehensive kit. They give you everything you need. This just seems wrong. Y'all ready? Here we go. They give you these lag bolts to screw the solar panel brackets down. So I just went and dropped one of those bolts into the hole I drilled to make sure that the bolts aren't so long that they're going to put holes through the ceiling where I can see it. And I can't see it. So we're good to go there. Let's go back up on the roof. Got to fix up our waterproof gland here. For now, I'm going to leave all this excess wire hanging on here because I make a lot of mistakes. So now we kind of have our solar gland in position. We're not going to tighten anything down. We're not going to put silicone or lap sealant on anything until everything up here is done. When we mount it, it's going to sit just like this. Positive, negative, positive, negative. So it looks like everything's going to fit. So these are quick connects. You got males and females. So we're going to have hot to hot, negative to negative. Then once we get ready to hook up our actual connector to the system, we'll go here and here. The one thing I'm going to add into this system that did not come with the kit is this big 1000 volt DC 30 amp inline fuse. And that's going to go on the hot side. That way if something goes haywire up here, this thing will pop and we can, know something's wrong and do some investigation. Now I'm going to run down inside, see how my wires are looking in there, and then we may just be ready to start shoring all this up, bolting everything down. Then we can do the fun stuff on the inside. I've created quite the rat's nest of wires under here. Even if you had a decent sized travel trailer or maybe a fifth wheel, I think they're going to give you plenty of wire. I believe, I'll have to look online, but I want to say they give you 30 foot. Now, I already know I have one problem before I can make all this stuff really function, and that is battery terminal bolts. After we've added the new charger and the Renogy inverter, my battery bolts are in by about a thread. And by the time I add the big cables that they gave me for this, I'm not going to be able to get the battery bolts in. So today's about getting all the hardware installed. Tomorrow we'll go get battery bolts in town, finish this out. Sorry about the generator noise. It's still hot and I want it to be cool when I walk inside for water. So now that we have our splitters hooked up and we are wired in, all we have to do is hook our gland up to our solar panels and we're good to go. This is going to be a go. I like everything where it's at, so I'm just going to secure all these real quick. And then once I get the screws in, we're going to come back over the top of everything with lap sealant, and then the wiring begins.
Yeah, that'll work to hide our wires. I mean, you're going to have to paint it. Solar wires coming out of the roof. Obviously, we've got way too much wire, even though I've already cut some off. Then we've got our controller we've got to mount. And what I did for the controller is I put a board right back here so we can take our controller and hide it. So we'll have controller, charger for the battery, battery. and this has a nice little Bluetooth remote, so in theory, if I can get it to work, we won't have to actually look at this on a consistent basis. They label these out pretty easy. Now, the next trick is I've got to figure out which one of these wires are positive and which one of these wires are negative, because everything's all on the roof and I didn't mark them. I don't want to take the gland off and start pulling on wires to figure it out the easy way, so I'm just going to grab a multimeter and we're going to put a red on one side and black on the other. If we get a negative voltage, that's going to tell us we're reversed. If we get a positive voltage with the red and the black, that's going to tell us which one's positive, which one's negative. But first, I've got to go plug in the solar panel so we can get some voltage. Now that we got that mystery solved, I need to go up on the roof and disconnect the solar so that as I'm working on this, I don't shock myself or blow something up. Got our little Bluetooth module mounted. Something I want to do to keep things super safe is to use this nice big 30 amp fuse we got from Renogy. And that's just going to be for our positive wire coming from the panels on the roof. But first I got to make a couple of quick connections just to make sure everything holds up really well. So once we get this done, we'll have 2 fuses in the solar system, one of which is going to be on the roof right before it goes into the gland, right on the hot line of the solar panel. And then once we get inside, we're going to have this big fuse in case anything goes wrong between the solar panel and the battery. I'll just mount this on the wall down here, hide it, and I'll make another one to go to the solar controller itself. Okay, now we've got the fusible link installed between the hot wires that come in from the panel on the roof and that go to the solar controller itself. I just mounted those to a wall in there to keep everything nice and seamless and hide as much stuff as possible so we don't have to see all this stuff, because I don't do that pretty of a job, but if you hide it, doesn't matter how ugly it is. There's our fuse, our Renogy Bluetooth controller. Good thing, these are nice and easy. Just run the wire in, screw it down. That way when we get to that, it'll already be hooked up, because I'm about to put this solar controller on the wall. Now, given we've had a little AC noise in this part of the video, you guys are probably going, what are you doing working on your electrical system when you have power going to the rig? That's true. Couple of things here. One, I'm not a professional and this is not a how-to. I know I say that a lot, it's just the truth. Not a professional solar installer, not a licensed electrician, this is just how we're doing it. But we disabled our power converter on this camper, and the power converter is what, when you're plugged into shore power, transfers that shore power into 12-volt power for your battery. And I have our Redodo lithium battery charger completely disconnected and turned off. It's not plugged into shore power, so there's no power coming into the 12-volt system at all or going out of the 12-volt system. Now once I go to hook up to the battery, I'm going to shut everything off to be safe, but up to this point, it's been safe. Now normally if you have a regular camper and your power converter is in its stock condition, if you're plugged into shore power, your 12-volt system is going to be hot, and you would need to completely disconnect shore power along with your battery to safely do anything. I just wanted to address that in case you're sitting there going, he's going to shock himself. We're fine. One of the last steps of this process, which is to hook this all into our battery, and then we'll go up on the roof, plug our solar panels back into the gland, and test everything out. Something you need to consider, our Redodo lithium battery, and probably every battery, is going to come with some kind of top post bolt. These are all well and good, but as you start stacking accessories, so we had another connection for our battery charger that we put in, we had another connection for our power converter that we put in, and I was only able to get about a thread of these to bite, and now we're about to add more connections for the solar controller. So I just went to Tractor Supply and picked up one that's a little bit longer. I actually bought a couple of different sizes. So I went from the stock size bolt to a 20mm bolt. I also bought a 25mm and a 30mm because I really didn't know how much I was going to need. We want to go with the shortest bolt possible so we don't end up going too far into the battery, bottoming out, either not having a good connection or potentially stripping something. So that's going to work. Tractor Supply, and for the Redodo 165 amp lithium battery, this is a M8 1.25 by 20. It's time to test it. You know, sometimes you just make stupid mistakes. So I got all this hooked up, I'm thinking we gotta be good to go. I made my list, I checked it twice. I hook it up, I've got an E01 code which shows the battery's over discharge. Now our Redodo battery app shows our battery at 61% and 13.1 volts. That's not over discharge. So I start checking connections, pulling everything, making sure it's tight. Everything looks great, I'm racking my brain. And tucked over here, because it fell down,
is the negative terminal for the solar charge controller that I failed to hook up. So I'm gonna rectify that, go back on the roof, plug my panels back in because I disconnected them because I'm gonna go back into messing with the battery and stuff like that. Hook this up, plug them back in. Hopefully that's the last time I gotta go up on the roof today. And then maybe we can really test this system.
All right, panels are hooked back up. Let's see if we got some good news. We're on. Yeah, 13.2. We're getting juice in. Nice. Okay, we got it charging. It's telling me we're charging. The app's working great. The Bluetooth was easy to set up. This overall install was not all that hard to do, really. I'm just gonna spend a little time here tidying up some wires and putting all this back together so that Angela can go up here and paint because I'm kind of holding her up.